Depression in teenagers and young adults has been on the rise for the past decade or so. A study from Pediatrics on national trends in prevalence and treatment of depression in adolescents and young adults found that from 2005 to 2014, there was a statistically significant increase in major depressive episodes, which is at least 2 weeks of low mood, in 12 to 20-year-olds. The study shows an increase from 8.7 to 11.3% in teenagers and 8.8 to 9.6% in young adults. A rise in use of prescribed medication and inpatient hospitalization in teens has also been increasing. A lot of people think, me included, that some of the causes for the increase in depression and anxiety in teenagers in the US today is because of the added stress from schoolwork and pressures to be overachievers. For anyone who doesn't know, some signs of teenage depression include sadness or hopelessness, irritability, anger or hostility, tearfulness or frequent crying, withdrawal from friends and family, loss of interest in activities, poor school performance, changes in eating and sleeping habits, restlessness and agitation, feelings of worthlessness and guilt, lack of enthusiasm and motivation, fatigue or lack of energy, difficulty concentrating, unexplained aches and pains, and thoughts of death or suicide. The two main avenues for professional help are characterized into psychologists and psychiatrists. Psychologists are trained in psychotherapy and are known as therapists or talk doctors. Usually they are the professionals that people go to when they first start noticing signs of depression. It's also very important to actually look for someone who you like talking to and who you feel open to. They are trained to talk through your problems, but it's not an automatic fix. On the other hand, psychiatrists are medical professionals who can legally prescribe medication to help treat any chemical imbalances in the brain that may be causing depression or anxiety. Medication is not necessary for everyone, but for some people, such as myself, it is necessary. Usually there will be an initial meeting to gauge your state and see if you actually need medicine. Your psychiatrist will prescribe medication and follow-up meetings will take place to see how you are doing and how the medication is taking. Sometimes medication may need to be changed or the dosage may need to be adjusted, but that is part of the process. Newer medications like SRIs, which are serotonin reuptake inhibitors, have a lot less of the negative side effects that older antidepressants had. Throughout middle school and high school, I would say the majority of my friends had some form of depression or anxiety. I'm not sure why or the causes. For me, it was both genetic and environmental. For other people, it may be just one or the other. I always felt like the school tried to talk about it occasionally, but never actually did much in means of preventative measures when it came to anything that might happen. I remember during my sophomore year of high school, someone in my grade committed suicide and had been hospitalized before he actually died. I didn't know the person directly, but I remember the school counselors going on the PA system and talking about opportunities to talk to them because of the possible trauma from a classmate committing suicide. But I found myself wondering why they didn't have these systems in place before it happened in order to actually help him. A lot of people are good at talking about depression if it has a specific cause, such as a death in the family or another tragic event. But if it develops over a process of time, oftentimes the preventative measures are not implemented. So it takes a lot of self-reflection and being aware of yourself and your surroundings, as well as being aware of your peers. In addition to getting professional help, it is also important to have some degree of self-care. I don't mean self-care as in going and taking a bubble bath or lighting candles. I mean self-care in a more basic, routine way of maintaining a certain level of hygiene, because when you are depressed, it might not seem worth it to get out of bed or shower or eat, but you will feel better if you actually are clean. As a note, you don't have to be 100% every single day. People are nowhere near as attentive as you may think they are, because they are also involved with their own problems. It's also very important to remember to properly hydrate and remember to eat. You really should not let your mental health affect your physical health. They are interconnected, but it's best to minimize the damage that a mental illness can do to you and keeping it in the mental realm and not letting it affect all aspects of your life. It's also important to get sunlight and not be too idle. I know I probably right now sound like those annoying people who tell you to just do yoga, but from my experience, when I spend the entire day in bed, it becomes inertia. It just gets harder for me to actually get up. So even if it's just like a short walk or just going outside for a bit, it's good. And also sunlight is good for you because oftentimes a vitamin D deficiency can worsen the symptoms of depression, which is why a lot of people have seasonal depression. It's also a good idea to find things that comfort you, such as animals or things from your childhood, books, TV, or certain activities. I realize that some things may lose interest when you are severely depressed, but sometimes just a warm cup of tea and a blanket will help just the tiniest bit. It's also very important not to isolate yourself, and even if that means just having one conversation with someone per day, don't go into a corner and back yourself in. And try to notice patterns in your behavior so then you can better prepare for things that you know will be coming up. It's why in high school I would usually front load a lot of my effort into the first semester because I knew I would get depressed halfway through the year. And in general, do what you can and don't overstretch yourself. There's a lot of focus on being the best that you can possibly be in high school in order to get into a good college. But getting into college is not worth risking your health over, and you can always find alternative methods of going to college. You don't have to be the best of the best at all times. And also, for the love of God, don't go out looking for depressing stuff because it matches your mood. I've done that. It just makes it worse. So, yeah, don't make depressing, sad playlists. Don't go online and start looking up self-destructive things or anything that will keep you in the pit for longer. Try finding things that at least maintain you or make you feel somewhat better. As a final note, I'm going to say what everyone always says in these types of things. The U.S. National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. And there's a website called www.teenhealthandwellness.com. They have a page where it's /static/hotlines, where you can find a list of hotlines for any possible thing that may be affecting you, be it depression or alcohol and drugs or bullying or anything that could be related to what could be going on in your life at this moment.